evening, everyone. My name is Lauren Razor. I am a New York lawyer, and I'm also a commentary person. And I try to give an opinion that maybe other people don't give. And other people actually are afraid to give. So there are questions that I have, and I'm going to start getting guests on to query about what is happening out there in the world and where are we in this whole planet, America, whatever. Where do we fit in? People of color, where do we fit in? What, as Marvin Gaye would say, what's going on? I asked the minister the other day, what did he think about what's happening with the new world order of the Trump administration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he said it's an opportunity. In anything that you see, you can see it as a blessing because it's an opportunity to teach us something. So what is it? What is it teaching us? What is this moment in time teaching us? We got knocked down because the first Black woman who could have been president, that opportunity came and went, was quickly. And, it might have been a historic election. It was historic in the fact that you have one guy getting in twice, so that's also historic. But it teaches us something. And what does it teach us? It teaches us about the fight continues. And that's what it teaches us. The only problem that I'm seeing is that the next generation is so focused on the money aspect of it. And that's what this president represents. And people have to really understand what he represents to young people. He represents this billionaire lifestyle, this something that they can aspire to. They see that he is so there's psychological things going on and what this person means to his voters. We know there's a part of it that's like a racial part. That's hands down. They don't want Black people here. They never will. Da, da, da. So you have that part of it. You have the core folks that are racist and to their core, and Donald Trump leads that, becomes the Führer or becomes that person. But he also represents this lifestyle of the rich and famous, and something that I guess people want to aspire to. The lifestyle of this rich and famous, playing the OJ. I mean, he captures the songs of people of color. I mean, it's really it's amazing how in the insanity of it and how this man is able to twist and it's insanity. So you're playing Money, Money, Money. That's a song by the OJs, which is a Black African American group. You're playing that song. It's their song, and you're playing Money, 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 and that's what you're doing. So you're playing the Black music, and then you go over not knowing you're playing the song called YMCA, and meanwhile you just passed an executive order saying that the government only recognizes two genders, male and female, but then you have those who have crossed over into another lifestyle, and they're standing right behind you with this person. I won't call the president an idiot, but it really is an idiot. Let's call it the way we see it. It's an idiot that you standing behind the people that are singing Young Men, and we know what the song is about. And meanwhile, you pass a bill, okay, that basically harms the people that are standing back there behind you. So it's idiocy. But what they recognize is this money, money, money. Donald Trump, walking in slow motion, coming out the big limousine. I'll give you a perfect example. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all the world, we're part of this real clown circus show called the United States. This is a circus. So I'll tell you this. I'm gonna give you a perfect example because I want to use this to see. I want 100 people to buy my book, and I'll give you a great discount on it, including the T-shirt, whatever. I'll throw in the slippers. No, I throw in a T-shirt. I'll throw in a fan with Living the Wealthy Life. I'll throw in those two items. And I'm saying it because when I made this book, I created this book called Living the Wealthy Life. It's my pride and joy because young people they don't have anything to read that provides guidance from a perspective, of color perspective. And I wrote the book based on the fact that my client was shot by a famous rapper. And I remember the rapper was at her sentencing, how she said, I'm out of the ghetto now, and because I made the wrong decision, I'm back here. I'm back here in jail, just like a common criminal. That person needed guidance. So I wrote a book called Living the Wealthy Life, 18 Principles of Prosperity, and, part of it is prosperity, and not just about money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So when it came to the cover of the book, and I'm going to change my mind because I'm going to experiment and see. They said that I should put on the front of the book. I should put on the front of the book a person standing there with jewelry in front of like a big car. This was what the publishers really wanted me to do. Standing in front of a big car with jewelry, although the book is not about that. And it's about principles and prosperity, et cetera, et cetera. And they wanted me to put a cover on it, and I might even have the cover. And the next time, if I find the cover, I'm going to put it up. They wanted me to have someone standing in front of like a limousine, and it was an up-color person standing in front of a big Bentley or something, and with champagne bottles, and then with the gold chains and the jewelry. I'm like, nah, come on, no, that can't possibly be a selling point for an intellectual book. I just can't stereotype my people with that type of buffoonery. So I did come up with a plan, but it wasn't that. But then I might have. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I might have sacrificed being a bestseller with that cover, because that cover meant wealth. And when the book is called Living the Wealthy Life, maybe that would, and maybe I'll try it, maybe that would have gotten the attention of young people to actually look in the book and read the book. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. And I'm going to get back to what's going on in the world. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be intellectual. So I decided to use a person with a white glove, and they had butler type thing, and I have my reasons for that, and then I had 18 principles, and all of that was part of the I guess the reason for the book. 18 was the age of maturity, so I was basically gearing the book towards young people that were just getting up in the world, and they may need something as guidance, a how-to book. Okay, so 18 principles, that was on purpose. That was for people who are turning 18 years old and older in the maturity. The platter was, where you have the butler, and hopefully I'll get to show the book. The platter was with the white glove, and it had a platter. People didn't know what that was for. And I said, wait, we're handing you this knowledge on a silver platter, so you don't have to go and look any further. As the song says, you don't have to go look any further. I'm handing you these principles on a silver platter. I thought that was funny. Maybe no one connected it. They didn't know what the book was about. They thought maybe the book was just about money, but it's more than that. So anyway, we're at a crossroad of insanity. And right now we're seeing an insanity in front of our face. And what I thought was interesting at this president's inauguration, I didn't see a lot of people of color. Oh, none. Maybe one, Byron Donaldson, and the other Tim Scott or whatever his name is. He might have been there. But then I heard Eric Adams ran there when he got the call 1 o'clock. What was he sitting by the phone? Like, I don't understand that whole process where he says he got the call early in the morning. He ditched Dr. King's celebration. And because he got that at the last minute, he drove down to Washington to be with the president, opposed to celebrating Dr. King. Then I thought it was a blackout because I didn't see most of the people except for the pastor. Not the pastor that prayed during the inauguration was a person of color, black man. I thought that was unusual that he didn't mention Dr. King at all. At all. And what this was about, what people don't understand, they say Joe Biden says the soul of America. I say right there, what happened was it was the soul of us. That Dr. King, who marched, who was stabbed, was speaking to us, and we could not hear. He said, we can overcome this. It happened to be the inauguration on the same day of the death of Dr. King. Are you kidding me? That's not coincidence. That's absolutely not coincidental. There was a message there, but Dr. King was blacked out. I didn't see CNN, MSNBC. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there were programs at local churches because there were, but televised, I saw nothing. Nothing. But Dr. King was pushing up from the roots, up from the ground, saying, don't forget. And we forgot. We forgot. And this man is saying, I didn't die for just this. Y'all forgot. And we still forgot. Young people don't even relate to this at all. They do not relate to the struggles, whether you like this politics or not, or Malcolm X, whether you like their politics. Young people don't relate to this. All they relate to the fact that it's a holiday and they get the day off, but they don't relate to what that struggle was. They don't understand what tough is when you walk up to the bridge with cops with billy clubs and you're trying to protect the women, and you have to make a judgment call as to go up straight to them and turn around so they won't kill the women and the children that were there. These young people don't understand. But his voice was coming up through the ground saying, it's enough. I've made a sacrifice. And a lot of us didn't even get the message. This man did not even mention Dr. King. It wasn't even mentioned. The black minister didn't mention it. But I tell you one thing, there are other people that don't forget themselves, because it's kind of funny. See, this is where we don't understand. Come on, black people, get it together. Get it together. Because the woman, the minister, she was bold. And I mean, I don't know if she is or isn't, but she was probably part of the LGBTQ community. I believe she was. I could be wrong. It's the pastor that basically read Vance and the president the riot act, and they got upset. But she took a bold step, a step that we didn't take. Our people should be ashamed of themselves, and I'm outraged And that's why I decided to talk about it. Because the good news about everything is that they say, Lauren, get it out, talk about it. I have to talk about it because maybe someone will understand and listen. Maybe someone will understand what our sacrifices were about. Maybe if they hear me, clients, whatever, you get the passion that my mother said she had to go upstairs in Washington D.C. and to watch a movie because she couldn't sit downstairs and with a white audience. Or a lot of us, not myself directly, have gone through this type of degradation in our history, and it's pretty much being erased. Our sacrifices were pretty much for nothing when no one got up there. And then, okay, so now they're getting on Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg said something 1 year ago. What he said was, he said people are acting like Uncle Tom, and that's like when I think the president got in, and the election was going on. Snoop Dogg made some comments about, look at all the coons that were going up there and kissing the ring. They made horrible statements. Crushed Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was going to go and meet with Donald Trump when he first got in the first time around. My opinion of that is you must get in there. You must go in there if you can get a seat at the table and tell this man that it's horrifying that you don't have any people of color. If you can get a seat with him, because if I could get a seat with him, that's what I would be whispering in his ear. Whether he likes me or not, I will not be the only one. And that has been my downfall, not wanting to be the only one, because most of the time they wanted me to be the only one. And I refuse to be race baited and divisiveness because we're fighting over a little bit of crumbs. Yes, get a seat at the table. Yes, your message should be to push him to look at that audience and say to that audience, say to that president, you need to have people of color on your team. Now, if Eric Adams is going down there for pardons, that's one thing. We know why he's going down there. We know why. We know why he's going down there, because it's Trump's Justice Department. And he knows Trump is vindictive. He wants you to kiss the ring before he does anything. So Eric Adams, if he wanted to see if P. Diddy was out, he would be down there at the table. But the difference is Eric Adams is fighting for his freedom and his life. So pretty much he wouldn't care what you said, Dr. King or no Dr. King. He doesn't want to go to jail, and it's Trump's Justice Department that can say, no, we're not going to prosecute this case. No, we're not going to do this. Eric Adams knows that. We all know that. So I put, people vilified of the mayor of New York for that. I don't. It's like, you can't vilify an Eric. And I don't, personally, there's issues that I may have. But the fact of the matter with him, is he's fighting for his life, his freedom, whatever it takes. Yes, he has to lobby that Justice Department. He's in a different zone. People can get angry. People can get mad at him. People can get anything they want at him. I'm not condoning it. But when you're locked up and when you're indicted on felonies on a federal level, which are very serious, and the possibility when you do Fed time, most of the time it's time. You're going to do possibly some time. So yes, his priorities, and that's up to the voters, his priorities are probably not the city at this point, because he can't do both. So I'm not mad at him. I know that he is more worried about his freedom than anything else. New York is just a paycheck, and he can keep getting a paycheck. So I don't, and even Snoop Dogg, I understand he performed for Trump. That's what I heard. Clarkson performed for Trump. So other people performed for Trump. That's not the issue. It's not the issue. The issue is, who cares if he performs for Trump? Now, I say there may be things that I won't go to. Maybe things that I won't go to if I'm invited to it. But then I have that level of loyalty, and I'm not a billionaire where they don't have any loyalty. They're loyal to money. But I might not do it. I may say, no, I'm not going to break bread with Bull Connor. I'm just not going to do that. But you better believe I'm going to meet with him. You better believe I would try to see where he's coming from and try to get I will not stop my policies that I want him to consider. I will not just back down because he's in the White House. I will still ask for these policies. I will still ask for George Floyd legislation or whatever. I will still ask for these policies. I might go out and sing for you after that, but I'm going to have a meeting about the rhetoric.